Okay, a lot of us use PowerPoint, have been using PowerPoint for a long time, and may have a lot of content already built in PowerPoint and want to share that with students. We might also have good reasons for wanting to continue to create new PowerPoint content that's specifically designed to use with students online. But there are a few things to consider. First of all, PowerPoint is not a format optimized for web delivery. It's designed, for people to use in a room and display up on a screen. And it's also a proprietary file type. That means you need to have Microsoft's software to display it, or at least viewers. And all your student may not have that access to either a PowerPoint viewer or PowerPoint software. And because it's not optimized for web delivery, it's for face-to-face use. It may contain large embedded files, which may be exactly what you want if you're displaying a 40 by 50 foot screen and you want to have high resolution images, say, or high quality video files. And also just consider that there are various different formats. So, if your students may have access to an older version of PowerPoint, maybe there's not a real good reason to save it in the newer version unless you're using some of the newer features. And sort of to dovetail on what I said before, be deliberate in your use. If the goal is that your students really want to have access to your PowerPoint slides because they all already use PowerPoint and they want to print out the slides and they're used to using that software and that's what works for them, then by all means use it, but make sure you're using it for the right reasons. So to save my PowerPoint and add it to Angel, I could save it in a location, like in this case I'll save it on my desktop, and I'll call it PowerPoint 1, and I'm saving it as just a regular PowerPoint 2003 document. And then in my course, I would add this just as I would any other file by going Add Content and clicking on a file, and then I can upload that PowerPoint 1 or PPT 1. I'll give it a title. And hit upload, and that's really all there is to it. So it's fairly simple, and if that works for my students, then great. Let it continue to upload here. And what the student will see, same thing as what I see here, is a file, and they click on it, and then it's going to ask me how I want to open it. And if I have software on my computer capable of opening that, then great, it will open. In this case, I'm going to open it with PowerPoint. But if I don't want the students to have to launch a separate program, I want it to just display right here in Angel, I have other options. So if I go back to PowerPoint again, and this time I'm going to go to the Office button here, and under Save As, I have other formats that I can choose. And one of those is HTML, not MHTML or Microsoft HTML. Single file web page, but instead I want just web page HTML, and I'll save it on my desktop again. This time is PPT2, and that's going to save a hypertext markup language file. Now if I look at my desktop, I'll see that I now have a ppt2.htm file, and then I also have a folder here. Let me get rid of these here. I've got a subfolder that has all of the files necessary to load in this HTML file. So that's all the little images and the sub files and the buttons and different things. But I want to get all of this up into Angel all at one time. So on my PC, I'm going to left click and drag to select both of those, and right click and choose Send to Compressed or Zipped Folder. And I'm left with this zip file here, and now that contains everything in this folder and then this file. So back in Angel, again I'm going to go Add Content, Add a File, only this time instead of adding the PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to add that zip file that I created, and I'll give it another title. upload. So when it gets done, rather than clicking OK right away, I'm going to tell it what I want the default file to be. The default file is going to be that HTML file, not anything that was in the subfolder. So I have all these files here that are all in the subfolder. So it's ppt2 files / and then a file name. I just want the one that's not in that folder. And then I'll hit extract files. Now it's going to unpackage that zip file. And now I've got all of my content in a form that's readable by the web browser. So when I click on it, it just goes right into my content rather than having to launch a separate program. So again, it's really it's up to you and what your goals are with using the software. You might choose to use PowerPoint format or convert it to HTML.